Welcome to day 3 of the 21 days of branding course. This is Orifunke Lawal speaking. In today's lesson, I am going to be teaching you something interesting. Okay, all the lessons are interesting. I'm going to be teaching you one of the interesting things you're going to be learning in this course. It is something you likely have thought about in different unrelated views before, but I've never possibly just sat down and thought about it in light that we're going to be looking at it today. We are going to be learning about brand thermometer. Now, before that, let's do a quick recap. In our last lesson, we learned about brand purpose and the importance of finding and building one. I explained that for you to move forward, for you to go ahead with your brand, you need to have a purpose, just like it is with any aspect of life in general. There has to be an aim, there has to be an intention, there has to be a why for you to be able to make significant progress. A lot of you already shared your brand purpose in the departments, and if you were one of them, I want to say I am so proud of you. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Now let's move on to today's lesson. We are going to be talking about brand thermometer. I'm sure you've heard about a thermometer before, of course. In medical terms, in physics terms, in scientific terms, thermometers are used for for a variety of reasons, but they border around measuring the temperature of a body, of an environment, of a substance. That's what a thermometer does. A thermometer allows you to decide, okay, this is how hot this is how cold this is the level of hotness, and this is the level of coldness. And we are learning about a brand thermometer, or what brand thermometer is, because all brands have temperatures. Yes, every brand has a temperature, no matter how big you consider the brand, and no matter how small you consider the brand, every brand has a temperature, and that's why we're looking at this topic. The first thing we're going to be talking about, and the major thing about this lesson, is the types of brands according to temperature. We have strong brands and we have weak brands. I am going to expect that as you listen to this lesson, or as you watch this lesson, you are going to be taking notes so that you come to a place of understanding and sincerity about where you currently are with your brand. Why exactly is this even important? Because before we can make any significant progress, any vital progress, we need to have an understanding of where we currently are. I see people who want to make progress, who want to do better things, who want to do really great stuff, but they are not aware of where they currently are. It doesn't work that way, even in personal development or any other personal endeavor that you are going to be embarking on. For you to make progress, you need to have a serious oversight. You need to have a serious understanding of where you currently are, so you know what you need to do to move on to the next level. So, as I'm going to be teaching, I want you to be taking notes. Please take notes so you get from each characteristic that I am going to be sharing with you of a strong brand or of a weak brand. You also take notes. Oh, this applies to my brand, or this doesn't apply to my brand. So at least you know where you stand and what you need to start working on. All right, now let's move on to signs of a strong brand. And of course, signs of a big brand, as I'm going to be explaining simultaneously. Number one, there is a clear cut communication about who you are serving. Number two, it is relatively visible or known by people in your target market. Number three, people understand what you are about or what you are capable of delivering. Number four, people always talk about you in positive terms. Number five, you have many people patronizing you from referrals. Number six, People give you strong positive feedback without you having to force it from them. Number seven, people also refer to you when talking about other brands in your niche or industry. Number eight, you are effectively differentiated from others in your industry. And number nine, you are consistent in your delivery. Strong brands are consistent in their delivery. I'm going to be explaining all of these one by one so that you have a grasp of what I am trying to teach you. All right, let's take it from the beginning. A characteristic of a strong brand is that you have a clear understanding about who you are serving. You have a clear understanding about who you are serving. So at this point, you want to ask yourself, do I have a clear understanding about the people I am trying to serve, about the people I am trying to reach out to? So, number one, you need to know who you want to attract, and you also need to know who you do not want to attract. You need to know who you want to attract, and you also want to know who you do not want to attract. Now, how do you think about who you want to attract? As a brand, number one, you cannot attract everybody because everybody is different. All of us are different. So, what will appeal to A may not necessarily appeal to B. There are some products that appeal to me that do not even appeal to my sister, even though we are from the same mother and the same father. You can imagine. So, if there are products that appeal to me and my siblings differently, you can imagine how much that could affect the variety that is in this world. So it means that you need to know the segment of people that you want to attract, because you cannot attract anybody everybody. If you've been in any of my classes, or if you've even attended any serious marketing course before, this is something they let you know. In marketing parlance, it's also called a target audience. You need to know the kind of people you want to attract based on the kind of brand that you have. So, one of the things you want to consider when defining or understanding the people you want to attract is geography. Where are they located? Know that this is also going to be dependent on the kinds of services or products that you offer. Now, what do I mean? There are certain products that can appeal or will better appeal to people in a locality, let's say in a place like Lagos, or you're saying Ghana or Uganda. There are some products that seem like they are appealing to people in third world countries. They have some products that feel like they are appealing to people in Africa. There are some products that feel like they're appealing to black women, like different geography in different areas of the world. This is dependent on the kinds of services that you offer. For instance, if you're a plumber who lives and works in Lagos, your target audience would likely be people who live and work in Lagos. It's not going to be wise or effective for you to say, "Oh, I'm a plumber and then I'm trying to reach everybody in Nigeria. I'm trying to reach everybody who has plumbing needs in Nigeria. I'm trying to reach people in Jos. I'm trying to reach people in Rivers. I'm trying to reach people in Abuja. I'm trying to reach people in Imo." It's not going to be effective for you because you want to focus on people in your location. So if you live and work in Lagos, you cannot start to think about the fact that, oh, we want to reach out to people possibly who live on the island and work on the island, people who live in central mainland and work there. So you want to pay attention to your geography, right? For some people, for some kinds of businesses, you can easily attract people beyond your nationality or beyond your location because of the influence of tech, thankfully. So you want to understand who they are and where exactly they are located. You want to think about their demography, their ages, and their gender. Again, you cannot reach out to everybody. You can't say we're reaching out to everybody because people respond to different things often based on their ages and based on their gender. Yes, people respond based on their ages. So there's a way, for instance, that people, teenagers, let me use say teenagers would respond to a particular kind of product, and then there's a way that baby boomers would respond to that same kind of product. Of course, there could be intersections where they want the same things, but a lot of times it's not like that. They usually want different things. So you want to look at the age range of people that you want to reach out to, and you want to look at their gender. Are they male? Are they female? And in you also want to look at some people might decide that they don't identify as male or female. So if you have a product, or you are a writer, you are a media person who wants to reach those kind of people, you also want to focus on all of that, right? You also want to have a clear understanding about that. Then we have psychography. What are the significant behaviors or traits and personalities that are peculiar to them? So, although people are different, they also have similarities. There's this saying that, a quote that I learned recently, and it says that human beings are more similar than they are different. And what that basically means is that human beings are different, quite all right, but they have significant behaviors. And in these significant behaviors are what form or forge community. Yes, they what forge from community. So you find out that you get attracted to a certain form of people. You want to be around certain people. You are moved towards certain people than other people because you see yourself in them. They have significant behaviors. They act the way you do. They have the same traits that you believe that you have, your similar personalities. Have you followed or have you seen somebody that shared something online before and you're like, oh my god, that's exactly who I am? Have you seen that kind of situation before? I have seen it. And for these kind of people, when they share stuff about themselves, and then it feels like something that I would do, I am more attracted to them. I want to follow them because we're similar. I have somebody like that. We're pretty similar in everything, and then we are always chatting, and I love it so much. So you want to talk about significant behaviors and traits and personalities that are peculiar to them, right? Honest. And secondly, you also want to know who you do not want to attract. I'm going to give an instance, right? A lot of times people know the people that they want to attract, but they don't focus on the people that they do not want to attract. And this is important because if you do not know the people who you do not want to attract, how are you going to be able to identify them when they actually come? You won't. Let me give you an instance. So, as a coach, as an online trainer, I train offline too. So, as a trainer, a segment of people who I do not want to attract for the kind of work that I do are people who are not keen on investing in their personal development. Number one, if you're a person who is not keen on investing in personal development, I don't want you to take my courses. I don't want you to sign up for my programs because you're going to stress me. You're going to stress me because I'm the kind of person who is who's super keen on making sure that people get the best out of programs. So if you're not as serious as your personal development as I am, it's going to frustrate me. I do not want to attract those kind of people. Number two, I do not want to attract people that feel like, oh, I can this what are they selling? I can get it for cheaper elsewhere. If you can get it for cheaper elsewhere, you can actually go elsewhere and get it for cheaper. I do not want to attract those kind of people because you're going to stress me. You are going to stress me. Another set of people that I do not want to attract are people who who do not want to put in the work but expect you to deliver all of the results. Right. And one of my role models says this often. She says that for courses that she gives, she tells you that this is not a done for you product. So it means that we are going to do as much as we can for you, and you will have to do as much as you can for yourself. Because you find out that people, take courses, and they are not investing their time, their energy, their effort, and they're not getting it as much as they want from it, or as much as they should from it, because of because of their own side of the bargain. And so I don't want to work with those people, because at the end of the day, they will make you feel like your work doesn't matter, because they are not getting the results, whereas they're the ones who are the ones who should be investing more time and more energy, because you have done all that you can. So that's an example of people I do not want to attract. The people I want to attract are people who are passionate about personal development, are looking to invest their time, their resources, their money, their energy into it. They love to they love communities of people who are also passionate about investing in their business, their personal brands, their careers themselves. Those are the kinds of people that I want to attract. So you want to sit down and make an outline of this kind of people, the kind of people you are currently attracting. Yes, that's super important. Sit down. Who am I currently attracting? Who do I want to attract? Who do I not want to attract? Because, of course, for a lot of people, the people you are currently attracting may not be the people that you want to attract. So, yes, this is important. I hope that's clear. Let me know if it's clear, or what. Let me know if it's not clear. So, another sign of a strong brand is that there is relative visibility in your industry or target market. So you have a target market, you have people that you want to reach out to, you have people that you want to serve, and there's some form of visibility. Now, notice I said relative, because for different industries, depending on the size of your business, depending on how long you've been in business, depending on the market, visibility is very relative, right? And then I'm going to be explaining visibility in other slides so that you understand what I mean. But there's a relative visibility. People know about you significantly for where you currently are in your business or your personal brand. So that's one of the signs of a strong brand. Now, do not mistake visibility for popularity in terms of strength, in terms of brand strength. That a brand is popular does not necessarily mean that they're strong, right? That a brand is popular does not mean that they are strong. A brand can be popular, they can be everywhere, they can be famous, but they may not necessarily be a strong brand. On the other hand, a brand can be small, they may have just started 2 years ago or 6 months ago, and they are a strong brand. So visibility is not dependent on, oh, everybody knows them. It is dependent on the people who matter, know them, and are getting attracted to the business or to the personal brand. So I'm saying this so you don't say, oh, we're not getting 100,000 followers in 1 month, 1 million people are not following me, then it means I'm not visible. No, if people are reaching out to you, if people are learning about you, if people are knowing about you in your industry, in your target audience, then it is a good start. It is a good point. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is that people understand what you provide or what you are capable of providing. If people do not understand what you're providing or what you can provide, and that's where one thing about perception, you have a weak brand. Because this is it, for people to patronize you, whether you have a personal brand or a business brand, for people to patronize you, they need to know and they need to understand exactly what it is that you're providing, or at least what you can provide them. I'm going to take that again. For people to patronize you, they need to understand what you provide. So you want to ask yourself, do people understand what I am providing? Do they understand the services I provide? Do they understand the products that I sell? Because people cannot buy what they do not understand. They cannot buy from who they do not understand. And the reason a lot of people do not get customers, do not get partners, is because these people you're trying to attract to yourself do not understand what you're providing. It is either you're not showing up consistently in their faces to let them know what it is, or you're not communicating well enough, or you're not using terms that they understand. Right, you're not using terms that they understand. You need to be able to use terms that they understand so that they can provide. So it has to be consistent, it has to be repetitive. It has to be repetitive, and it has to be basic. It has to be what they understand. It has to be what they understand. So important. If people do not understand, they won't be able to buy from you. So one way you can actually tell how people understand what you provide is ask. Do a survey. You can ask a couple of people in your circle, or possibly people you believe know you. Just ask them, what do you think I do? And get the responses. So what you provide and what you are capable of providing, there are two things. What you provide is what you do. What you are capable of providing is what you can do, and this is perception. For personal brands, this is one of the assets that you need to have. I have a lot of people, and that's one thing that has helped me so far. They don't know if they don't know exactly all that I do, but they just refer me or recommend me or reach out to me for stuff, for gigs, simply because they just feel Orifuke talks about this, then Orifuke talks about things similar to this, and she should be able to do this. I've not done what you're asking me before. Likely, I've not probably not done what they're asking me for before. But because they feel like Orifunke does A, then she should be able to do B. Orifunke is always talking about A, then she should be able to talk about B. She should be able to deliver on B. So that is a perception. And like I mentioned in our first class, branding is an ongoing process of shaping perceptions in the minds of people. It is a continuous process of shaping the narrative or forming the narratives in the minds of people, because sometimes people may not understand all it is that you're providing, but they just know that, oh, she should be able to deliver on this is super important for personal brands. Yes, this is important for personal brands. So no, she should she should be able to deliver on this, because of course she delivers on this. I've had people reach out to me and say, Orifuke, does your academy have courses on, they mentioned some business courses. Somebody still asked me like 2 weeks ago or so, and mentioned a sort of course for business owners. And I was like, well, we don't have that course yet, but I'm interested in us bringing it on board if it's something that small business owners and personal brands actually need. So it means that we're getting to that point where people just feel like, oh, Orica's Academy should have a business course. So let's reach out to her and ask her. You understand? So people need to understand what you provide or what you are capable of providing. If they do not understand, if they cannot articulate it, if they cannot tell people about it in the way that you want, then you have a weak brand. So on to the next one. People talk about you in positive terms. Right. So there are three ways that people can talk about you. Number one, they can talk about you in positive terms. Number two, they can talk about you in negative terms. Number three, they are not talking about you at all. And this number three is, I think it's the worst. Well, I'm quite in the middle about people talking about you negatively and people talking about you and people not talking about you at all, because I feel like indifference is a problem, right? At least if people are talking about you negatively, it still means something. It means your brand is a negative one, but at least people know you. And yes, a brand can be a strong brand and also be a negative brand. It can be a strong brand and a negative brand, but that's a conversation for another lesson, another time. So people talk about you in positive terms, and if people are not talking about you without necessarily being forced to, then it means you have work to do on your brand. So as a brand, you want people talking about it because it helps you to build visibility. It means that they understand what you're offering, and then they are also communicating to their audience, and then they are letting their audience also know about you. And by talking about you in positive terms, it's a different it's an entire process of good products and services, good customer service, good processes. It's a combination of different things, of course, and we're going to be talking about in brand marketing, in the brand marketing section. But people are talking about you in positive terms. People are mentioning you on relevant platforms. They're talking about you on their statuses or stories. They're talking about you on Twitter. They're talking about you on Instagram. They're talking about you on Facebook, because they love the experience that they have when they come in contact with your products or your services. Right, so people talk about you in positive terms. And then another sign, over to the next one, of a strong brand is many people patronize you from referrals. As a growing brand, as a I don't want to say a small brand. Yeah, I would use growing. As a growing brand, you will need to you are not as popular as you probably want yet. And even for big brands, it's extra vital. Yes, it's extra vital to be able to get people to patronize you, to refer you to other people if they like you. So somebody uses your product, somebody buys from you, somebody patronizes you, they buy a bag from you, and then they tell other people about you. That's a referral. It's also called word of mouth marketing. They're telling other people, "Oh, I bought this thing from Shola. I think you should buy from her too. And if you buy from her, this and this and this and this." So a sign of a strong brand, a sign of a good brand, is that you have a lot of people patronizing you from referrals. People are reaching out to you and they're saying, "My friend told me about you. My friend said you can write. My friend said you do business courses. My friend said that you can design. My friend said you can do this. My friend said this. Somebody said that. My friend," many people are patronizing you from referrals. And it's also the same thing if you're running your career. You have a career brand and you're trying to build your personal brand to optimize from career. So people are saying, "Oh, your friend referred you for this role." I've gotten a lot of that. "Your friend referred you for this role. Your friend referred you for this gig. Your friend did this. Your friend did that. Your friend said that." So people are patronizing you daily, weekly, because somebody said that you can deliver on that job, or they believe that you can deliver. If you're not having referrals, then it means that there's a system, there's a line in your branding process that needs to be optimized and that you need to find out. Of course, we'll come back to that. It's not a problem. So many people patronize you from referrals regularly. So now, the next sign of a strong brand, or yeah, of a weak brand, a strong brand, is that your customers often give you strong positive feedback without you having to force it from them. And how do you get people to give you positive feedback? It is to give them the best service possible. Now, understand this. Not everybody will give you feedback. There are people, if no matter how they enjoy your product or your services, they won't give you feedback. They will not give you feedback. I like to use this instance in the Bible. You might have heard me teach about it before. And I said that, there was this part in the Bible where Jesus made Jesus healed 10 lepers. 10 lepers came to Jesus, and then he asked them to go to the priest to show themselves. 10 of them asked them to go to the priest to show themselves. We're talking about Jesus, right? And on their way, all of them found out that they got healed. On their way to the priest, all of them found out they got healed. And all of them were so happy, and they were so glad, and they were rejoicing. Oh, we've been healed, we've been healed, we've been healed. And out of those 10 people, only one person thought, I need to go back to say thank you to this man who healed us. I need to go back to give feedback to this person. Only one person. And this is a guiding principle for me. It's really interesting for me. This is a guiding principle for me. So I know that not everybody who uses me or who patronizes me, not everybody who takes my courses will give me positive feedback. And also, let me tell you something. People are also likelier to tell other people about your products and services when they don't like you. Right. So this is it. When people experience something good, like human beings, right? Human beings, when they experience something good from you, they are likely to keep it to themselves. They can come back again. They love you. They appreciate you. But if you do something bad or something, or they do not have the experience, they are not even likely to, they may not even tell you. They will just go and tell other people, oh, this experience I had with this person was bad, the experience I had with this person was horrible. Right? So taking it from this Bible story that I love so much, not everybody will give you feedback, right? But some people will give you feedback, and your goal is to increase their chances of giving you positive feedback. So it means you have to think about these people. How exactly can I give these people the best experience that will prompt them to give me the best feedback? Right. So it's not like I've seen cases where somebody sells, let's say the person sells hand sanitizers, and she delivers to somebody, and then the person gets the hand sanitizers, and then she sends a WhatsApp message and says, have you gotten your hand sanitizers? And the person that bought it replies, yes, I've gotten them, thank you. And the seller posts on her status and says, oh, a satisfied customer. And I'm like, there's nothing that shows that this person is satisfied. Right. So it's more like you're having to force it on them. No, that's not the way to get testimonials. Right. It is that they give you notice I said strong positive feedback. Make it easier for them to give you strong positive feedback without you having to force it from them. One of the ways you can get positive feedback is, apart from giving them good and quality services, is to also ask. A lot of times you will not get what you do not ask for. So you want to ask, oh, how was this for you? Could you give us a detailed explanation about your experience? And sometimes people will give you negative feedback. It doesn't mean that your brand is bad. Sometimes you will get negative feedback or feedback that aren't so positive. It doesn't necessarily mean your brand is bad, but if you are always only getting negative feedback, if out of 10 you are getting up to 4 5 negative feedback, it is a signal that there's something that you need to work on. I hope that's clear. Okay, over to the next one. So your name comes up when your competitors are being mentioned. I'm not so sure if it was in this lesson or so in this course, but I must have mentioned that you have competitors. We will do a competitor analysis, a lesson on competitor analysis, but you have competitors. And one of the signs that you are doing well is that your name comes up when your competitors are being mentioned. So somebody is talking about your competitors, and then they just mentioned, oh, Orifunke also does that. It doesn't mean that they likely will patronize you, but if your name is coming up where your competitors are being mentioned, then it means that you have a fighting chance, which is so important. You have a fighting chance. But if nobody is mentioning you when your competitors are being mentioned, especially in a field that the locality is so small, in a field where maybe it's like a school setting, it's a small place, and then computers are being mentioned, but you are not being mentioned, and it means that you need to step up your game. Right. Now, the next thing that we're going to be talking about is that you have to be effectively differentiated from others in your industry. One mistake a lot of people make when they start out with branding is they look at other people who are also in their fields, and then they sort of want to copy and paste everything. They want to copy, copy their colors, copy their mission, copy their vision, copy their content. There are people that live off Instagram copying consistently. Their life is about copying, right? You are not going to make progress if all you're trying to do is to copy other people in your industry. You're going to look like the brands that are already successful in your industry. And if you're just coming up, you're just starting out, you cannot afford to look like a replica of somebody who has already gained ground. If you are just starting out, you cannot afford to look like the replica of somebody or a business that has gained ground already. You are going to be shooting yourself in the foot. I say this a lot of times. So you can get inspiration from other brands, personal brands, business brands, but you want to be effectively differentiated. You want to sit down and say, what can differentiate me? Don't worry, in another lesson, you are going to be learning about how to craft your unique selling propositions in such a way that they stand you out and they get the people you want attracted to you. And finally, they are consistent in their delivery and their promise. Every brand has a promise. Every brand has a promise. Every brand has a delivery, or every brand should have a promise. There should be something that you're promising your people. For instance, for me, when somebody takes my courses, I am promising them quality. We're going to give you the best that we can give you, right? We're going to give you the best service, the best instructors. We'll give you the best facilitators. We're going to give you people that actually know what they're doing, not people that are upcoming, right? They know what they're doing. They've gained ground. They've been in the field, whatever it is, for a while. So it's a promise that we give, and it's a promise that we deliver. So if it gets to a point where it feels like, oh, their courses then they were good, oh, but I don't know what they're doing now, it's going to tamper with the brand that we're trying to build. So you need to be consistent in what you're delivering and in what you're promising across your boards. So you can't deliver an awful service today, and then tomorrow you're trying to deliver a good service. Okay, no, you can deliver an awful service today and tomorrow but you can't deliver a good service today and tomorrow you're delivering an awful service, and next tomorrow is awful, next tomorrow is awful. You have to be consistent on all your brand touch points as well, your pages, your social media pages, your website, your everything. It has to be consistent in the delivery. Whatever you're delivering at every point in time has to be consistent. If you promise something, you need to be consistent. And that is it today on brand thermometer. I hope this has been so enlightening for you. It has been for me. I want you to make sure to take time. If you want to listen to this again, some of you will need to listen all over again, so that you can take in more insights than that you didn't get the first time. So if you want to do that, yes, please feel free to go ahead with that. I'm looking forward to your responses. Let me know if this was helpful, if this was enlightening, if this was insightful to you. Please share your light bulb moments in your department and look forward to receiving your prompts as well so that you can submit. So, thank you very much for listening. See you in our next lesson. Bye.